Hey everybody, it's Frozen with Outdoor Adventures and thanks for joining me today. I will be starting my Appalachian Trail through hike February 23rd of 2019, and we're really getting down to the wire. This is actually pretty much my favorite time of the year, not because of the holidays necessarily, but because all the AT through hikers are getting ready for their adventure. It's kind of like watching the preseason of your favorite sport. Everybody's kind of doing training camp right now, and then the adventure begins. So I'm really happy to be a part of the class of 2019 for the Appalachian Trail. Now, I started watching Appalachian Trail through hikers vlogs. I think the earliest one I ever watched was either Homemade Wanderlust. I think I hit her up in New Hampshire when she got there because I didn't know people actually vlogged their through hikes. And then I moved on to, I think it was BetweenTheBlazes, which that dude did an awesome job at kind of keeping everything really fun and simple on the trail. If you haven't seen these two people or somehow don't know who they are, I'll leave all the people that I'm about to talk about in the description box below. So over the years, I've watched personalities such as Early Riser 7-1, IBTAT, Amanda Bess, Jake Hikes, aka Hot Sauce, GaryOnTheAT, Evan's backpacking videos, Liz Kidder. I mean, there's just so many people that I couldn't even possibly name them. I'll actually put them in the description box, like I said, if you want to check them out. But again, I am really happy to be part of next year's class of 2019. So what I wanted to accomplish today in this video was give you a brief history about the Appalachian Trail. What is the Appalachian Trail? And then I'm going to bring up some of the most frequently asked questions since my announcement video earlier this year. So let's start with what exactly the Appalachian Trail is. The AT, or the Appalachian Trail, is a continuous footpath that starts on Springer Mountain in Georgia and ends on Mount Katahdin in Maine. The whole trail mileage changes a little bit over the year due to reroutes and fires, etc., private lands, but usually the mileage is about 2,190 miles long. I believe this year it's 2,192. I'm not exactly 100% sure on that, so don't quote me on that just yet. I need to wait until the AWOL guide comes out, and we're going to get into all this in future videos. So, the Appalachian Trail started when a visionary named Benton McKay, he was standing on the Vermont Long Trail, which was the Appalachian Mountain Club at the time, I believe, and he was sitting in a tree looking over at the Appalachian Mountains, and he had this vision of creating a path, a continuous footpath, which later on became the Appalachian Trail. This happened in 1921, and it started work a few years later, I believe. Now, what's interesting to note about Benton McKay is he had this idea very shortly after his wife passed away, which kind of makes you think on, just what he was trying to conceive and what he was trying to do for the hiking community at the time. Earl Schaefer was to be one of the first publicized through hikes. So he was one of the first through hikers. One of the first women to complete a full through hike of the AT, a woman by the name of Emma Gatewood. She was 67 at the time, and she actually did it again a couple years after that. So that's really, really neat. So why did I pick the Appalachian Trail, or the Appalachian Trail, depending on where you're from, over a trail like the JMT, the John Muir Trail, the Pacific Crest Trail, the Continental Divide Trail? Why the AT? I picked the Appalachian Trail for a couple reasons. First of all, it's going to be the closest to my home. I live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which is on the East Coast, obviously, and the Appalachian Trail pretty much runs a couple hundred miles away from my house. So that's one of the reasons. The second reason, for whatever reason, I have a big fear on going into town and resupplying. Now, logistically, resupplying is easier on the AT compared to the PCT and the CDT, so that's another reason why I'm choosing the AT as my first long through hike. The third and final reason why I picked the AT over any other long distance trail is because I want to bring my hammock, and logistically it's easier to hammock camp along the Appalachian Trail than it would be via the Pacific Crest Trail or the CDT. I'm sure it can be done, but additional considerations need to be made to allow you to go to ground. Now, with that being said, I plan on hammock camping the majority of the AT, but in certain sections you're required to stay in the shelters like the Great Smoky Mountains, in which case I will mail drop myself a sleeping pad and then I'll send it back when I'm finished with that trail section. So that's what I plan on doing. I may also carry a little extra Reflectix with me as just a just-in-case item. Not really sure. Don't think it really would be necessary. A lot of people have hammock camped the entire AT and been perfectly fine. Pretty much why I picked the AT over the two other long-distance trails. Now, I'm not saying those other two long-distance trails are completely out of the question. They may be through hiked by me at a later date. We'll have to see. But let me get through one trail first. Like I said before, my start date is February 23rd, 2019. And a lot of people have asked me, why am I starting so early? Why not in April? So there's a couple reasons for that as well. First of all, the majority of the thru hikers for the AT start March 1st. I'd like to get a few days in front of them to avoid what is known as the bubble, or the crowd of people. I think the last time I saw the voluntary ATC registration, there was 150 people starting on March 1st, which just seems absolutely crazy to me. I want to kind of have a little bit of solitude. I know the AT is known for a social trail. Probably not really going to be taking part in a whole lot of social activity. Sure, I'll talk to people. Sure, I'll meet people. But as far as the party atmosphere associated with the Appalachian Trail, I'm not really there for that. I am there to clear my head, think about what I need to think about, be okay with my past, and thru hike the AT because I love hiking. I love backpacking. That's why I'm there. I plan and I hope to finish early July. It's going to create an opportunity for a job for me when I get home. If I finish around that date, and if I finish any later, I'm not sure if that opportunity will exist. And we're going to go over that piece of the information in the next video. I don't want to get too long with this video, but I'm going to tell you guys everything about the thru hike as far as exactly what I'm bringing, the planning that I've done, the things at home that I needed to take care of, the money situation, my budget. Pretty much anything that anybody wants to know about this hike will be in the next several videos I'll have leading up to my thru hike. Another question I get, am I growing a beard? At this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shave my head really, really low, probably shorter than what it is now. I'm going to give my beard a good shave, just like I did this morning, so kind of like this. And then when I step out in the trail, I'm just going to let all my hair do whatever the heck it wants to do. If the beard starts to drive me nuts as far as getting snagged in my quilt or any kind of face mask or buff that I have on my face, I will probably just end up shaving it off. But I'd really like to grow the beard out and see what it looks like in 5 months. So yes, I will be growing a beard. I already have some awesome people that have commented in the past couple videos saying that, hey, I'd like to provide some trail magic for you around this section of the AT. Hey, I'd like to drive you into town for a resupply. I'd like to bring you a resupply. Also, even had people willing to open up their houses to me for the night so I could sleep and get on the trail the next day. So I am just blown away by the hiking community's generosity. If you need to contact me in any way for any of the trail magic, to be a trail angel, anything like that, I've set up a specific email address for this, and I'll give it to you in just a second. Now, the channel email address, frozensoutdooradventures@gmail.com, I will not be checking that email address when I go on my thru hike. The reason being, I have so many Chinese knockoff vendors trying to sell me their crap, trying to send me their crap, I should say, for paid reviews, and I don't want to have to look through all that crap to actually find out the real email addresses, the real people that are sending me messages. So I've created, like I said, an email address just for my thru hike. That address is the following, and I will list this in the description box below on all my AT videos. It is frozenhikes thru@gmail.com. If you need to contact me for any reason, hopefully not to ask questions, but if you need to get a hold of me to coordinate something, you can use frozenhikes@gmail.com to do so. Say you'd like to drive me into town and we want to arrange a meeting spot. That's what this email address is for. So I'm providing it out to the channel, and I'm also providing it out to any friends and fellow thru hikers that I meet along my journey. This wraps up the first of several videos that I'm going to publish. The next video, we're going to talk about my trip planning, my at-home things, my at-work things, and tell you about my budget and how I'm able to afford this thru hike. So look forward to that. And then after that, we'll get into my training, and then we'll finally go into every single piece of gear I will be bringing on my thru hike. Thanks everybody for watching. I am greatly looking forward to this. And again, I cannot wait to be part of the class of 2019.